Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Fitness and Harmonies. I like you. The overall arching purpose of us getting together here is to do our exercises and our movements together so we flush out the negative, the bad things that our brains have a negativity bias. We typically want to hold on to the problems and solve them. We talked in the last time about how the sun is always shining inside, that when we take time to be still, that's when problems tend to be solved. We're going to work on our shoulders. That's one of the problems most of us have, is that through the ages, we've been moving our arms around and holding the shoulders forward and shortened or lessened the space. So the rotator cuff muscles are hard to visualize, but we're going to work them by stretching and strengthening them. But first, let's start out here in Pratyhara. Pratyhara is the yogic concept. It's the fifth limb that says, withdraw your senses from the outer world so that your mind can refocus its light, its energy on the inner experience. Let's start here. Swim the shoulders back, pull the elbows in, relax the palms face up on the thighs, and then give the whole body a couple of swirls around in one direction and then in the other direction. Then take a seat, an asana. Asana is the third of the 8 limbs, where Pratyahara is the fifth of the 8 limbs. Asana, take a seat. The asana is the place where you are. I'm going to take these fingers in this OK pattern just to remind me, I need a little extra today, that I am connected to the universe. So the thumb is the universe, and my index finger is me, and I am connected. So that's where I get my energy. Lower the eyelids down. Take a breath in through the nose and let it go. Okay, I invite you to move your senses from the outer world to the inner world. So we just began here talking to each other in the outer world. But at some level, we are connected in an inner world. Inhale. As you exhale, feel as if your mind is moving in. Pratyahara says that our focus should be inside where reality exists. The mind creates its own reality. It takes in the outer world, mixes in its own belief systems and memories, and then creates an experience that we call reality. But at any given moment, there's an element of choice. So as you're inhaling, exhaling, make the choice to withdraw, to move from the asana, that's the poses, the seat, the place where you are, to a place within. If you maintain this meditative aspect with your eyes turned inward, the problem of the shoulders can at least be seen and made a little bit better. We're going to stretch and we're going to strengthen all of those holdings. Do 3 slow breaths here. One more. And then open your eyes. I want to remind you not to ignore the pain. Let's take one arm across. Use the other arm to pull that arm over. So if you have pain existing in your shoulder today, especially, but at any time, tell yourself, I shouldn't be in pain. So holding this pose should not create more pain. If there's a little discomfort, a little tightness, a little feeling of pulling, that might be okay. Numbness or tingling, probably come out of the pose and then come back in. If you can't get that to go away, just do a little bit of movement and then just leave it alone. Let's go the other way. Take that arm across. Use your other arm to pull over. Your shoulders Healthy shoulders should move in all directions. They should twist, turn, rise, fall, and turn and release. Now give yourself sort of a big hug. It's almost like your elbows are aligned in front, kind of like a beak. And then bring the fingers to the sides of the shoulders. And give the shoulders a pull. So I'm grabbing onto this whole girdle of the shoulder and pulling it. And then go the other way. So wrap one elbow over the other. They may not reach. That's okay. Grab the shoulder and pull. Just keep practicing on seeing within. To collect the mind, collect the energy of your attention. And notice that your attention and your mind and the place that you reside is a moving target. Let's pull the elbows down and back, almost like these elbows are trying to twist. Almost like we're turning the arms out and we're trying to twist. The elbows and the shoulders back, broadening through the chest. Notice the moving target of the mind. Notice the moving target of the body. So I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving in the asana and I keep giving you different things to try, but never be in pain. Now try this. With the elbows about where they are, twist the palms down and then up and back. So try rotating this upper arm bone. It's called the humerus. Sometimes there's nothing funny about it because the head of the humerus sometimes can seem like it's a little big. So here are the major diseases of the shoulders. Impingements and torn and inflamed tissue, bone arthritis, extra bone called spurs. Hold the arms down. Keep twisting, right? Hands are going up, elbows are going forward and down, and then the shoulder is twisting. So things like, we call these things arthritis. We call them, torn and inflamed cartilage, frozen shoulder. We call them itises, bursitis, tendinitises, and then release. Oh, I found that. Let's grab the band. So if you have a stretchy band, let's start here. Start with a stretchy band. I'm going to start with a really light one. But the longer they are, the better. I know a lot of them come in just, the length that you bought it, and that's what it is. That's okay. From here, bring the shoulders down. Hold on to the band, palms down, and then try face. You can see what I'm doing. And then try extending the arm. So several things happening here. Triceps, the back of the arm, are extending at the elbow. But more importantly, I want you to focus on what's happening at the shoulder. So the upper back, there's a big upper back muscle there that's squeezing. So the shoulder blades are sort of twisting open and outward. Anchoring. So the breath is our first anchor. Inhale. Exhale. Whatever you want to do with your legs is okay. I kind of like them in this, I'm going to call this boat position, like I'm sitting in a boat. Do 3 or 4 more. So in every single exercise we do, shoulders should remain down. I almost never lift the shoulders up overhead. They can't really get there anyway. Try this. Let's take the strap behind the back. And for the moment, thumbs pointing out, hold on to that strap, shoulder blades down together and back. Just hold that for a second. Just kind of feel the pull. The elastic has a different feel than the strap. The strap doesn't move, but the elastic does. See if you can from here kind of extend one arm out and then the other. Now you have the elastic. If you had the band, the arms would be going with you, and that's valid too. That's a different thing. But we're working those rotator cuff muscles. Their whole job is to stabilize the shoulders. So I said for today's entire practice, the shoulders should be held down and kind of plugged under the shoulder blade down and hugged into the body. So it's the rotator cuff muscles' job to do that. Then just push the knuckles down into the floor and push the chest forward. This is almost enough. This is almost enough. So the title of today's practice is I Like You and Safe Shoulders Anywhere, Anytime. So maybe those 2 or 3 little things we've done so far gave you a little bit of awakenness in the shoulders, a little bit of energy to start again. You might do that anytime, anywhere. Let's take the strap, if you're still okay, well, my shoulders are feeling it already, and loop it around your feet. Okay, always be careful that the strap doesn't come off of your feet. Make sure it's on there good. This is as good as I'm going to get right now. And then do a couple of practice rows. Row, row, row. Typically, I hold on to the strap like we would say like a microphone. Use my fingers wrapped around it. But Candace, I don't need to be told how to hold something. A lot of times people want to get like a big grip, and I see them wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and next thing I know, their fingers are all blue. Don't do that. Don't do that. They don't even notice. You don't even notice you're doing that. Don't really wrap. But another thing I might do if my strap is very long is crumple it up so that it becomes almost like a little handle for me to hold on to. Hold the elbows down and back. Now just practice elongating the spine, bottom to top. Drop your chin a little bit down, but remember what the shoulder blades are always doing? Back and down, pinned in to the back ribs. There's a rotator cuff that's beneath the shoulder blade, between the shoulder blade and the ribs. And that one is often one of the ones that either isn't doing its job and winds up getting in the way and gets inflamed because it got in the way. So that's the one we want to sort of pay attention to. All right, from here, I'm going to let out my strap a little bit because I didn't want to pull as hard now. And then try flying the arms back. So I'm widening like my arms are flying like a bird. Today's practice is a mix of strengthening. This is a strengthening one. Shoulder blades are always what? Down and back. So don't ever either hike the elbows or the shoulders up. They usually go together, don't they? So this is an exercise called a back fly because we're flying the arms backward. And this is strengthening the bigger muscles of the upper back so that they do their job of moving, not stabilizing, but moving the arms. 2 or 3 more. Let's take a stretch. So take that band off. Come around to hands and knees. Move from hands and knees back into child's pose. And in your own time, take a few minutes to go from hands and knees to child's pose. So slowly back and forth. Notice that child's pose is a good shoulder stretch. So when you're thinking of your list of what stretches and exercises can I do anytime, anywhere, child's pose, probably top of the list. Now integrate your breath. Remember Pratyhara. So if you want to just naturally rest your mind in a place. Remember the word for place in yoga is asana. That's your seat. That's the place to be. It's like your home, your natural resting state. Give yourself the breath to direct your energy. It's like when you're not home and you're not really sure where you are, and so you program GPS to go home. Go home. Take your mind back into the resting state, back into itself. Notice that home is a moving target. So that energy state of relaxation and stillness and peace seems to be a moving target. It's not. It's just that the obstacles between where you are and that place make it look like it's moved. It's an optical illusion. Go 3. Two. The breath is a natural vehicle for focusing and directing your mind. Come up. Let's try that thread the needle pose. A lot of you already know this. Maybe one hand walks a little forward, the other arm threads underneath. Come down to the back of the shoulder. Notice how many different versions. You could push all the way back. You could push a little bit forward. You can reach your arm all the way through and twist. You could even push this other arm and turn more, or you just sort of land on the back of your arm. Essentially, we're doing the same stretch we did in the beginning. Remember this? We took the arm across and pulled. That's essentially all we're doing. We're just letting the pose, the asana. So we're trying to rest the mind in the nest, in the home of the shape. Push your body a little bit forward so you're almost on the, I'll call it the top of your shoulder, towards your head. Never be in pain. Do 2 breaths in this thread the needle pose. Keep visiting all parts evenly. And then come back up. Let's try the other side. So you're threading this arm under. You're coming almost to the back of your shoulder blade. Okay, this is an example of one time that your shoulder blade isn't set. So instead of that shoulder blade being stuck flat on your back, it's being turned, twisted. So the inner edge of the shoulder blade is moving away from the spine of the body. It's called the spine of the edge of the shoulder blade is moving away from the center of the body, almost like a book opening, I guess. And you should feel that. You should feel that stretch. I don't know if you remember the back flies we just did. That muscle, a rhomboid trapezius, we're working really hard at pulling the shoulders together behind you. Now we're opening. 3. Keep visiting the asana, the pose. Moving away from the outer world, narrowing your focus to what's going on in the body. Make your way all the way back up and move into downward dog. So with its fingers splayed open and the body weight on those fingers, push up and back. So fingers and toes matter and they exist. And fingers and toes are the refining principles of balance. We balance with our fingers all the time. You pick something up, you do fine motor movement, but we forget that we can balance with our toes. So fingers and toes. Keep kind of spreading the sits bones apart. The shoulder blades always pull down and in towards each other a little, but in towards the ribs. So like you're flattening your shoulder blades onto the back. 2. And then tiptoe forward. Roll all the way up. Embrace the abdominals around the waist. Bring the hands together at the heart. Lift 10 toes up, spread them out, put them all down. I invite you here to just close your eyes and channel energy up and down. Imagine your body is a cylinder. It's like one big tube. And nothing is in the way. So forget things like organs and ligaments and bone. Nothing is in the way. You're just one big tube, cylinder of energy, of light. Use your breath to move all of that energy, all of that light, all of those particles, the waves of sound. That's what it is. It's waves of sound. Then locate within all of that home. Where are you? within that big wave of light, sound, energy. Withdraw, almost like your universe is collapsing. Withdraw into that home space. Now direct your shoulders down. Notice your shoulders were rising up. You were doing a lot of good concentrating. Now push down in through the 10 toes. Like connect your mind into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And push, like your toes are pushing down buttons to launch, to launch this energy system up the body. Once again, spread the shoulders out, unlock that energy pattern of holding, of worrying, of stressing. 2 more slow breaths. Good then. Open your eyes. Let's step the left leg back. Balance. Step that left leg back. Hold. I'm on the ball mounds of that back foot. Bend this front knee. Tip forward and bring the right hand to the knee and hold. Gain your balance and your strength. Then let this left arm hang. Now sort of tick-tock your head left and right. Ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. It's 2 shoulders. Just go side to side. Now don't let your head hang. Let your head be a natural extension of the spine, that diagonal. Now circle this left arm around. But your goal here is to soften the musculature that connects the arm into the shoulder socket. Go the other way. So notice that energy is going to move where it's easy. And energy is not going to move where it's hard. Notice hard has 2 meanings. Now I want you to row the shoulder up and down. Notice the difference between rowing your shoulder and rowing your arm. So I guess shrug might be a word people use. Then just let the arm hang. Now like a pendulum, swing the arm in and out, or out and in, and then just let it hang again. Come up. This is where we turn the back leg so the sole of the foot is now holding you. Bring the arms behind the body and see if you can clasp the fingers. Then extend, so you're dropping your hands down that back thigh. What we're doing is we're spinning the shoulders open in front. Come up a little, try this. Try crossing your arms and see where you can crawl so that your fingers are walking towards your elbows. See how that does. Then using your forearms like a bar, lean over that bar backward. Let me check in on you. Okay, yeah, you got it. Healthy shoulders do rotate forward and do go behind the back. It's a really very common ailment or disease that the arm won't twist in and go behind the back. So chances are somebody is feeling that right there and going, is that right? No, it's not right. Don't do it. We live with pain, don't we? We just go, oh, yeah, it's part of what I used to. Take the arms out, make these goalpost arms, and let the elbows move forward and the palms move back. Here's the opposite. This is the antidote to that. Two. And then step forward. I'm going to flow down, up, down, up, down, up. Stay standing if you want. Forward fold and then plank. So there's something for everyone, right? Lower down. Press the tops of the feet down, rise up. Stay standing if you want. You didn't have to come down with me. Come down. Push back to child's pose. Come up into hands and knees. Put the fingers down one by one, and then rise up to downward dog. Fingers down, or fingers down. Tiptoe forward. Gain energy. So remember that column? Push the toes down like you're pushing the buttons and releasing energy like a rocket up into your legs, and your body just sort of naturally unfolds back up into standing. See? I told you I'd meet you here. From here, step the right leg all the way back. I don't feel as balanced on this side. Give me a second. Something's going to happen here. Yeah, this is why. Lean forward, bring the left hand to the knee. Embrace the abdominals this time. Right arm hangs down. Circle it around. Remember, our goal for this little move is to soften the back of the shoulder. So combinations of strengthening and stretching, go the other way, are what reduces the soreness and the inflammation. Inflammation is the fancy word, right? The hurt, the pain. And then from here, we'll row the shoulder up to the ceiling and down. Row. A couple more times. You should be able to feel the shoulder blade moving and lifting and doing things. If not, get thee to massage therapist to get that worked out. Then with the shoulder down, let the arm swing out and in. Massage, heat, putting a, what do you call that? The thing on your arm that holds it there. A sling on your arm to keep your shoulder out of that inflammatory cycle. Come up, so make your way up. Spin the back leg. This is where you plant down so you don't no longer feel like you're imbalanced. Hips to the front. Bring the hands behind the back. Remember this one? Slide the hands down the back and extend the chest forward and up. You'll remember this one. Okay, this is definitely one of those things you can do anywhere. That should really provide a nice opening in the front of the shoulder. So whenever we open parts of the body, blood circulatory system rushes in, and your body is always trying to heal. Come up, try walking your hands, remember? So you're like locking maybe towards the elbows. Use your forearms as a bar, and then lean back over that bar. This is also a good stretch for that hip flexor there. Three. I'm breathing fast. And one. Come all the way up. All right. If you have one of those long yoga straps, it will work with your band. It just won't be as pleasant. But if you have one of those long yoga straps, I'm going to cut this little part of our session out and make it really available so that you can watch this again. Make it as long as possible. 20 feet long. I'm going to take it behind the back so it's like at the bottom of your shoulder blades. Got that? Okay. Then lean forward so that it's still there. Make these ends pretty even with each other. Take your arms above, right? So now it's just on my back. Hold on to these edges. So far, so good. Take one strap, flip it over its shoulder, but then let it hang under the other arm. So you see, I just crossed it from one shoulder over to the other underarm. I should be able to see it hanging there. I know that was complicated. Press rewind and do it again. So then the other one, same thing. Over its same shoulder, whoop, but then under the other shoulder. So it's going on each shoulder, but on my back, it's an X. Reach through and grab those like parachute cord. You're gonna have to rewind that if this was confusing for you. You can stand up now, we're good. And then with these hands, pull. When we pull, the straps on the shoulders, pull the shoulders back and open. That's it. If your strap wasn't long enough, this isn't gonna work. If you're using the band, it's not quite as pleasant. Please don't get your hair caught in it. But a yoga strap, and they actually sell this already made like this. You don't have to recreate this every time. But some people will hold and buckle this in front, and they'll walk around their house, you know, and it just holds their shoulders back. So that gives them some relief in their shoulders. And then we'll take that off. All right, we'll play that part again another time. Let's do that flow. And one more stretch. Forward fold. Into plank pose. Lower down. Rise up. So tops of the feet push you down, and that shoots the energy up and out through kind of the throat. Come down, push back into child's pose. Come back up. Now stay down. I'm going to come right back down with you. Stay here. Downward dog. Tiptoe forward. Shoot that energy to come up. So squeeze in like a volcano. Circle up. Extend back. Forward fold. Plank pose. Lower down. Tops of the feet push down. That shoots energy up through your chest and your heart and your throat. And then come down. Push back into child's pose. Come all the way forward and onto the belly. All right, so this is where we pick each other up. I had said stay down, right? This is where I pick you up. Take the arms out like goalposts. I guess like shoulder to elbow is pretty 90 degree there. So not all the way down, not all the way up, somewhere in the middle. Then take your other leg and hip and twist and bring that leg around. Use this other arm to push. So all I'm doing is pushing this arm back. That's all that's happening. I'm twisting my body to get that stretch on that pectoral. And some of you are saying, wow. If wow means ow, I didn't really want that, then bring your arm a little bit down more. That'll release a little bit. Don't twist. There's another option. Come back, so roll back to your belly. This time, take that same arm down at a diagonal. Diagonal, I don't know, 30 degrees away from your body, and twist again. So roll, but this time take this top arm and let it fall. Open and back and down. This one should actually feel kind of good on that same shoulder. The other one was a huge stress. This one's sort of a resetting. And come back. So now the other side. Take that other arm out like a goalpost. 90 degrees. And then flip the lower body. Stretching that chest. And then come back. Take that same arm now down at a diagonal, 30 degrees away from your body, and roll onto it again. This time take the other arm and let it fall back behind you. And then come back. From here, push all the way back into child's pose. That was a lot. That was a lot. There are other ways of stretching the shoulders. This was enough. This was enough. We worked on strengthening and stretching to alleviate the pain and the inflammation and the soreness that can come from arthritis or torn cartilage. Of course, if you had like a torn injury, you probably shouldn't be moving it really at all. Just trying to reduce the inflammation with things like medications. 3 slow breaths to relocate home. And remember, at a base level, you and I are connected. I like you. It matters to me that you are here with me. And our energy together is moving together towards a peaceful place. Make your way up and around into a seated pose again. Let's hold on to the back of the thighs. I've got more shoulder exercises, but we'll do that another day. Just hold on to the back of the thighs. I'm actually holding on to my wrist. That's easy. And pull. Back. Pull. Let's say I couldn't catch my wrist. I could hold on the back of my thighs, or I could even use the strap here and hold on to the strap. Same goal. Let the shoulder blades widen. Come up. If you have that strap, do grab it. Roll all the way down to the back. Before you do that, sorry, put the strap on the front of the ankles. On the front of the ankles. Then roll all the way down. Come to bridge pose. So holding onto the strap, lifting the hips. Now use the strap. Okay, if you don't have the strap, here's another option. Grab the edges of your mat. Maybe go ahead and just do that, just because I want you to. And as you do that, crawl your back of your shoulders down towards your knees. So walk left, walk right. It's like you're pulling the mat down towards your feet. Or pushing, I guess that is pushing the mat down. Almost like you're trying to pull the mat out from under you. There's a visual. And that pulls the flesh of your shoulders down. Or let's say you were still with the strap, you'd be pulling with the strap, and that would walk your shoulders down. So shoulders and down, those words go together. Let go of whatever it is your hands are holding, and just concentrate on pushing the tops of your shoulders into the mat. Imagine your shoulders are doing downward dog. Right, so you have to push into the mat hard with the shoulders. 3 slow breaths. Good, let's come all the way down. When you're ready, hug the knees in. Bring the feet to the floor. Widen the feet and the knees a little bit. Wrap the arms around the upper body. Remember that same hug we began with. Give the shoulders a pull with the fingers. And then windshield wiper the knees side to side. After 2 breaths, switch the arms. The other arm on top. Grab the shoulders. Give them a pull. Hold the knees to one side. breath. And then to the other side. Let the knees just sort of hang, kind of gently pulling. After 2 breaths, slowly make your way into Shavasana. So I'm going to actually put my arms a little bit up overhead. My blanket just landed under my feet, so I'm going to let that happen. I'm going to put my feet up on the blanket and let my arms kind of relax up overhead. Another option is to take that blanket. Let's say you were facing the other way. The blanket's either up overhead or under your head, and so the arms land on the blanket up overhead. If your arms are up overhead as you begin to take Shavasana, make sure that your ribs are not flying up off the floor. If your low back just flew up off the floor, that's way too much. Take the arms down. There should be no effort in Shavasana. Close your eyes now. Now gently invite your mind to hold and focus on pleasant sensations. This experience is always there. This is always available. Inhale. Let it go. Again. Begin to roll to your side. Open your eyes. Press all the way up now. So sort of climb into your seat, your home, this place that you've created. So with your head aligned, make sure your head's not in front of your body, and the shoulders pulled down and back, bracing the abdominals, soaking in the energy that you just created. Inhale and stretch the arms up overhead. As you exhale, I invite you to come back to the heart where you and I like each other. Good work today. Namaste.